I'm so glad that you tuned in today, and I want to share with you just a few words to encourage you and hopefully edify you concerning some blessings that God has given us. On last week, we talked about activating our blessings, understanding the things God has given us that will actually activate our blessing, helping us to understand that we don't have to wait for a blessing to manifest. All we have to do is pull the trigger, be the catalyst, step into those things that will help us to activate the blessings that are already in us. We looked at Genesis 1:28 at those four words, and he blessed them. And we realized that God had already blessed them to be fruitful and multiply, to conquer and subdue, to have dominion. They already had the blessing within them. And what it made us understand that before God speaks anything to us to do and speak anything to us that he's promised us, he's already blessed us with it. When he tells us, I'm blessing you, it is not because we're just getting the blessing. It's because he's enlightening us to know what's already in us. We don't have to be concerned about how to make the blessing come forth from the sky. It's already in us to do. It's already in us to do. And that's wonderful. Today, we're going to look at building character. It's one of the things I love about us as humans that we don't take advantage of very often is that we have the right to have great character. Even if people question your character now, you have it within you to change your character. We can do over. We can have another chance. That's a gift from God. But we have to understand what a good character consists of. We have to understand what is it that makes our character good. I'm going to talk about three things very, very briefly, just to give you something to think about when it comes to having a good character. How do I build my character to where my character is a good character, where I have a godly character? In the word in Ephesians 4, you will read around about the 22nd verse. You'll start hearing Paul talk about taking off the formal conversation of the old man. And what he's telling us is there are things that we can do to improve who we are. We don't have to stay the way we are. We don't have to accept things the way they are if they're adverse to us. We can control our destiny and where we are going. It is not left up to some invisible aura out there that we call fate. It's up to us to follow the mandates of God. And then we could have what God wants us to have. But one thing we have to look at, we look at character from a godly perspective. Once God blesses us, what happens to our character? What do we bring to the table? I am a firm believer that many people prepare to have, but they do not prepare to understand how to function once they have. They want to be millionaires, but they don't have the mindset to function as a millionaire. And so therefore, once they become millionaires, they come under such scrutiny. They come under such pressure that being a millionaire becomes offensive to them. Can you imagine being in a position where you can take care of every financial burden you have, and it's more of a burden to have the money than it was when you didn't? It's because we don't understand how to build our character. We don't understand how to change and become better. Today we're going to look at three small things, and then next week we'll come back with a fresh rhema word. The first step in building character, we have to look at something that we call ethic. Our ethics. Our ethics deal with how we understand right and wrong. How we understand what's proper, what's improper. How we understand what's moral and immoral. In other words, ethics deal with how we discipline ourselves to function. What are your ethics? If you want to build better character, you have to understand the ethics that you function under now and the ethics that you want to function under. Do you have a strong work ethic? Do you have strong moral ethics? Or are you an individual that has no discipline, has nothing, has no restraint, not temperate at all? If this is you, you can change that and have a great character. All you need is for you to submit to the will of God and allow him to build great ethics. The next step in building a great character, you must have integrity. Integrity deals with our standards, the standards we uphold, the things that we do that govern our lives according to what we feel is right and wrong. It's akin to ethics, but not the same as ethics. Because integrity deals with our standard. There are certain things that certain rights, certain things that we defend because of our strong integrity. This is something that you learn. This is something that you have in you that guides you in difficult times. How do you function when difficult times come? If your integrity, if your character has a great deal of integrity, you're going to seek out the most honest way to function. The third and final thing is compassion. Strong character has a great deal of compassion. Compassion deals with how we see or how we function or how we believe in the well-being of someone else. Who is your world revolving around? Do you only see yourself as the king of your world? Who do you care about? If you have a great deal of compassion, you probably have strong character. If we want our character traits to improve, if we want our character to become that God can be pleased with, we must check our ethics. We must check our integrity. And we must check our compassion. We must be able, according to the will of God and the power of God, to care about what God cares about. We can change. There is no such thing as I have to stay the way I am. We can change. And if you're grateful for where you are, it can even be better. I leave you with that thought. Check out your character. I'll see you next week.